Hey, it's Kevin. Thank you so much for stopping by. It's another No BS social media chat. This week we're talking about, well, the early bird. You've heard the old, is it a fable? Is it a fairy tale? Well, the old moral of the story, the early bird gets the worm. And sadly and frustratingly, I'm going to tell you, with social media, sometimes the early bird gets the worm on social media too. And what I mean by this is the earlier you adopt, the earlier you engage with people on a particular social media platform, the more successful you're going to be. And that doesn't mean you should jump off your strategy of whether it's the pyramid theory or whether it's just looking at the big four. And we talk about the big four social media channels all the time. The four most important social media channels for growth are, of course, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. They may not all pertain to you, but really, if somebody says, what four channels do I need to be on to build my personal or business brand, those are the four I'm going to talk about. YouTube is tough for people, but more and more I see all the time people talking about needing to build social media content for YouTube, for the video and the audio aspects of it, and just the engagement levels. But we'll talk about, again, YouTube fully at another time. But what I'm talking about today is, well, I don't want to say the need to constantly be on new social media sites, but to me, it's almost like keeping a little ear out for radar kind of thing. Always being on the lookout, always, well, if you see somebody post something, at least go check it out. With what I do, I'm constantly, again, wanting to be one of the first on a new social media channel. Whether it was the recent editions of Ello, ELLO.com, or whether it's Peach. They're both apps as well. I get them through my iTunes, app store. I've checked them out. I've looked at them. I've set up some profiles, but haven't done a lot with either of them yet. But I at least wanted to kick the tires, find out what they're about, and see if there was something that interested me. I was the same way, in all honesty, with both Vine and Snapchat, both of which are very popular now. And while they're not in the big four, they're gaining ground. Some will say Snapchat more than Vine, and that's fine. I got on early. I tested them out. I play around with them a little bit. Don't spend a lot of time on them because they don't interest me personally. And again, I'm just talking my social media. But at the same time, when I have a client go, hey, should I be on Vine? Should I be on Snapchat? My answer is, well, that's subjective. I've got a lot of friends who do a lot of Vine videos, who enjoy the repetitive video, or the video that just keeps playing back and around and back and around and back and around in 6-7 seconds long. They love that. Snapchat, that's a whole different animal, and it's a whole different beast, and we'll probably have to address Snapchat here soon, because the chat function of social media is getting bigger and bigger all the time. The mobile-to-mobile aspects of social media are getting bigger and bigger all the time. And I realize, and we talked about this before, it's impossible to be everywhere and to meet everybody's needs. But what I think is important, and we talked about this in the pyramid theory, you need to go spend time where you're interested. You need to go spend time where you're having fun. Sure, you got to do the Facebook, you got to do the Twitter. Those are almost necessary evils sometimes. But if you're not having fun doing them, you're not going to focus a lot of time and effort on them. But if you find a new social media site that interests you, then feel free to share more time on it. Now, you know what? You may not be getting a lot of bang for your buck initially, but I think importantly, if you're having fun and you're there early, it's going to benefit you. I've talked about this with YouTube all the time. I built a YouTube page probably almost 10 years ago now, and put up a few videos here and there, but didn't do a lot with it. Then started doing some video blogging in like 06, 07 probably. And what was amazing was just my silly little video blogs were getting good hits. We're getting solid hits on a regular basis. Now, what's happened is video blog content I did 6 years ago versus video blog content I do now, well, it's not the same. In fact, my channel, maybe 198, 99 subscribers to my personal YouTube video channel. I got more early on subscribers than I get these days. I may get a subscriber once every week or two. Again, I only do it once a week, and I'm not really worried about building it for myself. I'm just building the content to share elsewhere. But I find it interesting that early on in YouTube, I got more response. I got more engagement. Now, YouTube is trying to do whatever they can to build YouTube channels, to make it more interactive, to make it more television-like. That's why it's not a page anymore. It's a channel. It's a feed. And that's important, and they really want to push subscribers. And that doesn't work for everybody because, in all honesty, why would I subscribe to your YouTube channel? Do I really care that your content is that engaging? It's one thing for younger demographics, they're interested, but older demographics may not be. But I think it's important that the earlier you get engaged in a social media site, the better chance you have at success. So again, if you see a new one pop up, whether you're reading something online or a friend tells you about it, go check it out, go sign up for it, kick the tires a little bit, And if it's interesting, play around with it. It doesn't have to be a primary focus, but at least have some fun with it. If it's not interesting, well, just you've got it sitting there and move on and make sure that they're finding your content elsewhere. Just a little food for thought. A good way the early bird gets the worm. It may help a little bit. And I know we're just adding more to your plate, aren't we? Next week, another No BS Social Media Chat. NoBSSocial.com. No BS Social is the YouTube channel. You can find us on our Intensity Media Facebook page as well, too. In fact, my contact information, email address, phone number, it's up next at the end of the video. Thanks so much. We'll see you next week.